Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger. Ooh. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Ooh. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger.
Welcome to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger. This is the podcast where we try to get away, yet we stick around. So we fall and crawl away and brush away loose ground. Brush away loose ground.
I don't know what
Brush
you're
away.
doing. I don't know what you're doing.
Is that not what our podcast is about?
That's not a song I've ever heard before.
Oh. What do we do in this podcast?
We talk about Power Rangers, remember?
Oh,
We've been doing it for
yeah!
like 2.5 years. I figured you'd have figured it out by now.
That's right. This is episode 120 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it's called Brush with Destiny. That's where I got confused.
You didn't find a Destiny's
What about
Child?
Destiny's Child?
Destiny's Child never say Destiny's Child.
How sure are you on that?
Not sure at all.
They probably do, like how Jason Derulo says his name all the time. They probably mention it somewhere in a song.
Yeah. I mean, like, if we ever have a song, episode with Shaggy in the title, there's a lot to choose from. Shaggy. So that voice you
Sorry,
heard...
whoa. Can you do that one again?
No. It's
Okay.
Shaggy only appears once every 4 years. Now, think about it. It seems kind of true,
Are
doesn't
you
it?
suggesting that Shaggy is an election or the Olympics?
Yes, but the ghost version of that, plus a rapper.
Kaylee's here.
Kaylee, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me again.
No worries. How do you feel about Shaggy?
Which Shaggy? Like the Scooby-Doo Shaggy or the musician?
But everybody loves Scooby-Doo Shaggy. I'm
That's
talking
true.
about the musician.
Well, I only really heard his stuff in like the
Yeah, I
early
haven't thought about
2000s.
Shaggy
Yeah,
in
like
more
I
than a
really
decade.
liked his stuff when I was in primary school. I was
Yeah.
a big fan. I was
In
like,
fact,
this
I
is
don't
really
know that
cool.
I could name a Shaggy song.
Since then. Oh, actually, would I even Angel? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
That was his, yeah.
And was it me?
Oh,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
one.
those
Okay.
two were like the songs I knew.
Yeah.
And that
I've
was-
heard that like 1 or 2 years ago he came to Australia and did a concert that was just all of his old songs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I did hear about that.
The
one.
people who went absolutely loved it because he understood that they were just there for
Oh,
nostalgia.
that they didn't
Yeah.
hear about like Shaggy's 2011 album.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
they
And
just
he
wanted his
just put on
old
as a
school
party
stuff,
and
yeah.
he sang all his old
I mean,
songs.
that's good.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if S Club 7 came out.
Yes.
You wouldn't
You
want to
would-
hear them doing like
new
shit.
stuff. No.
No.
Same as Spice Girls. Like you probably wouldn't want to hear them doing new stuff. You'd be like, just do your old stuff.
Yeah. Or the Venga Boys. If
Yeah,
I don't hear about the
exactly.
Venga Bus, I don't care.
Matt,
Exactly.
the rumor that I've heard
Yeah.
is that it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's been my understanding. I'm just curious as to where it's travelling from because it's been travelling for a long time.
Yeah.
And it never arrived.
I know it came from New York.
Yes.
But I don't know where it went after that.
New York and San Francisco.
Oh, that would make sense.
And then there's like Mad Disco.
Right. Okay. What podcast do we actually do? I'm not even sure.
I'm finding that increasingly difficult to answer. But I do know that we'll be talking about episode 120, Brush of Destiny of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a little bit later.
Yep.
Before that, though, we've got a bit of news to talk about.
Yeah. How are you, Matt? That's not the news, but it's been a while since we podcasted. So, like, how's
Yeah,
business?
good. So busy.
Yep.
All I know is chaos and work. They are my only companions.
That's good. Anything?
And Sarah, my girlfriend.
Anything exciting going on?
Nothing that I can talk about directly, but at work. So I work for a startup that is a creative agency, but what we do is extremely broad.
Yep.
And we're starting to get to the point now where we've been working on a lot of different things for our first year.
Yep.
And very soon a lot of that stuff will be hitting the world.
Yep.
So there will be, like, there's software and there's some sort of motion video type stuff, and there are, yeah, I guess I can't get too much into it, but lots of big things that it'll be like...
About a launch. And
Yeah, I think it'll feel better. I'll feel better about all my hard work once there's things that I can point to, like, look, this is what I've been doing.
Sure.
Yeah, how about you, Michael?
Yeah. Nothing going on. We've got a podcast.
We do.
I downloaded Tinder onto my phone.
You went through with that?
Well, no, I downloaded the app onto
Yeah.
my phone.
Okay.
I have
I-
not yet opened the app on my phone.
This sounds like what I did, except I did open it, and then I was like, I can't decide whether to swipe left or not, and I can't choose.
Oh, you're crippled by indecision.
No, that's a lie, actually. I did open it,
Yep.
and then it was like, this is the instructions, and I was like, yes, and then it was like, make an account, and I was like, no, I'm too neurotic for this.
So you've given up on that project?
Well, it's sitting on my phone still.
Why don't you tell people what your plan was originally?
I don't know that I had a plan. Did I have a plan?
All right, well, answer me this. Are you intending to do it legitimately or ironically?
No, legitimately.
Okay.
I'm sad and alone.
Right, okay. I feel like Tinder's a weird place to start.
I think that's where all the young people are.
Yeah, but you're not that young.
Tim's on Tinder.
Yeah, you're older than Tim.
Yeah, but I figure that it probably goes up to a certain point.
And Tim is not as neurotic as you are.
No, God,
At least not in the same way.
There's no one as neurotic as I am, except like Woody Allen. But
So, like, back in the day, I didn't really do any internet dating, but, like, I briefly entered that world.
Sure.
And there are places where the
how do you do it ironically?
Oh, like we almost did Lord Zed. You know what I mean?
No.
That's the extreme end of that spectrum, and
Right.
there's middle ground there. But
I mean, I feel like it would be hard for it to not seem ironic.
I think that's being a bit mean to yourself.
Yeah, that's the goal normally.
But yeah, there's places you can go where the end goal is a nice, quiet, informal date.
Right.
Yeah,
As
where Tinder is
where
like,
the end goal is generally
we're going to bone.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Straight-
good.
straight to the bone.
I'm alright with that one.
I know, like you think you are.
No. I need to make it clear. I haven't set up an account.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you could probably ease yourself into this one, which is generally not my advice to you. But in this situation, maybe. Kaylee, life, how is it? What is it? Even if
What is life? Who knows? Who knows? No, my life is mostly fictional lesbians and TV shows. That's
Can we
what
do a
I do.
podcast about person of interest? It is so good.
It is.
I've heard it's
It
pretty
is
good.
great.
Also, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
It's
Yes,
so good.
also great.
So good.
So
Also
good.
great.
I don't understand why everyone isn't talking about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's so funny, it hurts me.
I feel like the reason is in America they are,
Yeah.
and it only
It's
is available
only
here
on
Netflix.
Netflix, so it's only people that have it that.
Now, mate, here's the thing:
Yep.
Parks and Rec
Yep.
is that, but crossed with the West Wing.
Okay, I definitely need to see this.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do.
You do. Parks and Rec is great.
In the meantime, I'll just be on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
I feel like I've started another TV show.
I
recently.
actually have Parks and Rec on DVD if you want to borrow it.
So does Michael, doesn't
Yes.
he? Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Like, I intend to. It's just time.
getting around to it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I'm still not quite finished with the newsroom. So, okay.
That's my problem. There's so many things to watch, and then I don't have time, so then I can't decide. So then I just rewatch something that I've already watched.
It's a problem.
because-
We're in the golden age of television, I
Yep.
think. There's so much fantastic television.
Yeah.
And yet, we're about to watch some Power Rangers.
Speaking of Power Rangers news,
Yeah.
so I guess it will have been several weeks ago by the time this goes out.
Yes.
Boom's Power Rangers issue 0 came out,
God, it's good.
and it's just great.
Top notch.
I need to read it. I saw it because I went on King's Comics just because I occasionally do that when I'm at work because that's what I do. And I saw it. It came up in like the thing. I was like, oh, they have it. And then I was like, I need to get it.
You should.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for what Kyle Higgins does with issues 1 through hopefully as
And it
many
had
as he wants.
it had Red Ranger on the cover, which made me happy.
It has all of them on the cover.
It does.
Well,
There's different colours.
Yeah, no,
colours.
but the
Yeah.
one that
Yeah.
came out was
Oh, no, like the one that's out now, you can get it in your different ranges.
so you can pick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Depending on availability, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll probably talk about that one a bit more in the future.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say, you should go buy it.
Yeah,
You can-
it's apparently sold out at Boom level.
Oh,
so,
wow,
like,
nice.
it's sold out of the entire first printing.
That's
I
great.
imagine they'll do a second printing.
But you can also get it on Comixology if you want to.
Yes, so it's all bits and boops, and it's impossible to sell out.
Yes. Cool. That's that.
Yep, it's great. Like, honestly,
Yeah, please just trust us and go and buy
yeah.
it.
Look, you guys have been with us for the 120 episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes.
You have got to trust us on our opinion of Power Rangers stuff.
Yes.
This is easily better than like 99% of any episode we've ever watched.
Yes.
And it's only like 14 pages long.
Exactly.
The other news.
Yep.
New season of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
After Dino Supercharge.
Yep.
So
Ninja Fun Times.
No.
Ah.
So
Then becomes Ninja Super Fun Times.
I mean, this is all a couple of weeks ago in the past for you guys once you hear this, but Saban registered a trademark for something called Ninja Steel.
Yep.
Everyone instantly kind of assumed
There'd be thieves.
that's STEEL.
Oh. That's disappointing.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe Ninja Super Steel. What will they super steal?
But that's not what Power Rangers do. They don't steal
No,
things.
they'd be like
Robin Hoods.
Yeah.
But ninjas.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is great.
okay, don't get me wrong. That's a great pitch. No, everyone kind of instantly assumed that it was for Power Rangers.
Yep.
And that may have been confirmed. I trust that if IGN say that they got a source thing from Saban, that they're not lying.
Yep.
Because they're a semi-legitimate news outlet.
Yep.
And they're saying that it's confirmed that 2017 will be Power Rangers Ninja Steel. So we're skipping Power Rangers.
Sadly.
I think everybody's been ready for that for about 3 years.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It does mean I'll probably have to track down and watch that Sentai though. Because it's a whole series of Sentai about trains.
Do you like trains?
Is this a new thing we're discovering about
Yeah,
Matt?
I didn't know you had strong feelings about trains.
I like train themes. Like, I like Legend of Zelda.
Right.
And when Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks came out,
Yeah.
for some reason that made me like Legend of Zelda more.
I
don't-
have no idea how to pass this information.
I don't enjoy going to catch a train in Sydney because they're shitty. But a locomotive is an interesting motif that is underused.
A locomotive?
Yeah, that's right, a locomotive. I want more locomotives, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I mean, this is fascinating, and I feel like we need to do a whole episode about what's going on in Matt's head with trains.
Wait, it's not just me. They made a whole Legend of Zelda game about trains.
I mean, no, look, you'd be excited too because it's also about imagination.
Yeah,
it's about imagination
look,
and trains.
I love both of those
It's
things.
Matt's two favourite things, apparently. That we're finding out. But yeah, my understanding is the toys didn't sell particularly well, and that American kids aren't as into trains as Japanese kids.
as they should be. But surely they're into imagination.
Yeah,
But you
the
can imagine it with a super speedy car.
The imagination isn't part of the Megazord.
There's an interesting thematic contradiction between trains and imagination,
Because trains go on tracks.
Yeah, and imagination is about going off the track. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, so what we're learning is that Matt is going to go to Saban and just give them 40 episodes worth of script.
Yes.
And just say to them, guys, you can have this if you want to do this.
Do it or don't do it, I don't care, I just had to get it out of my system.
I'm kind of imagining that you might write them and just film them with yourself playing all the parts in different
I'll
weeks.
tweet it all.
Yeah. And because then, for half the episode, it goes into this great looking... and then the American footage is you just going well, I'm Zordon now.
Put a paper bag over my head. Oh, I'm your mysterious mentor.
Baghead. Okay, but so moving past whatever the fuck that was, Power Rangers Ninja Steel, we have a synopsis.
Yeah.
So Ninja, the
Yep.
Sentai, was about a bunch of ninjas who are related, who go to a ninja school to get stuff from their ninja grandpa, and there's time travel to previous Ninja Power Rangers seasons.
What?
And it's very ninja themed.
Good.
It sounds like Ninja Steel may not be that.
Oh. Since what is Power Rangers Steel then?
Power Rangers Ninja Steel starts deep in space, where Zircon is the reigning champion of the most popular intergalactic game show in the universe.
So they're going to be space ninjas?
Hold on.
I think you skipped over the game show bit.
Let me just finish.
All right.
Where monsters battle to prove who is the mightiest warrior.
Cool.
Zircon is determined to become invincible by controlling the mythical Spirit Crystal, which contains 6 supernatural ninja power throwing stars. TM. The only thing standing in his way is a new team of heroic Power Rangers who possess the Spirit Crystal. The evil Zircon sends his warrior contestants down to Earth to steal the crystal, where each epic battle against the Rangers is broadcast throughout the universe. Together, the Rangers must master their arsenal of throwing stars, Zords, and Megazords, each made from legendary ninja steel, in order to stop this evil threat and save our planet from destruction.
So it's basically just a season of Power Rangers, but filmed within the universe.
Yeah, maybe.
That's bizarre.
I mean, there's some very interesting decisions in that entire paragraph.
Yeah.
Like, Zircon is probably an original villain.
Yes.
Again.
Isn't Zircon also a type of crystal?
Yes. The decision to call them ninja power throwing stars instead of just caving and calling them shuriken.
Yes.
I mean, I'm hopeful because I'm sure the Energems had different names before Dino Charge aired.
You're right.
So I'm hoping that we're still at least a year out from shooting. I'm hoping that that gets a tweak because if everybody has to talk about the ninja power throwing stars...
That's 3 words too many.
Yeah. It's just...
It's not like Energem is super creative. It's just Energy Gem
yes,
into one word.
But
Right.
it's nice and simple and a description of what the thing is and does.
Yeah.
Just use the word shuriken, guys.
It's a cool word. Like, if you don't know what it means, it's even cooler.
Yeah, like an Energem's not a thing.
No.
A kid could think that a shuriken's not a thing. And then when it's a throwing star, they're going to be right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just... That's an interesting pitch.
Yep.
It's an interesting pitch for a Sentai which, to my knowledge, didn't have, like...
Is it strange that I'm having flashbacks to like Saints Row the 4th?
Yes.
This.
Right? Why?
Well, because there's like an alien dude that comes down and he's like wants to destroy Earth, and
There's a lot of those in Power Rangers.
That's all there is in Power Rangers,
Pretty
by
much.
and large.
But I just imagine this guy because he's got like this whole thing and everyone follows him. So I imagine he would broadcast it.
What seasons of Power Rangers don't have a bad guy from space?
Sometimes
Lightspeed Rescue is demons.
Yeah, I think they're either aliens or they're demons, basically.
Yeah.
Because where else are they going to come from?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
There's no seasons of Power Rangers where the bad guy is just a bad person.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing.
It is and it isn't.
I certainly understand for Power Rangers.
Yeah. Well, I think because it is for children, they're trying to like really push the good. and
Good
evil.
versus evil,
Yeah.
Rather
and
than-
that there's no people that are inherently evil in the world.
You don't want to like confuse them and be like, by the way, anyone.
Rancic in Time Force is like a mutant, but he's like a person who was a mutant. He's not like a space mutant, I think.
Alright, cool. So sometimes it's not just aliens and demons that are evil, sometimes it's people that are different from you that are evil.
Yeah, sometimes people who just through a quirk of birth can produce bone swords from their bodies.
That sounds pretty evil.
Power Rangers is a messed up show. So, I mean, I don't know if any of that will change. I don't know how much of that is open to change. For Dino Charge, they unveiled the cast at Power Morphicon.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be shocked if they did that again this year.
When's Power Morphicon?
Like October, August, that kind of end of the year.
Yep.
So I would imagine it's in early pre-production, figuring out what they're going to do.
Yep.
My understanding is that we don't know in 2017 where it's going to air yet. That the Nickelodeon contract runs until 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume Nickelodeon will look to re-up that contract, but who knows what will happen.
Because Nickelodeon, is my understanding goes, hasn't been the greatest hosts of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, there's that always unfortunate hiatus mid-season that runs for nearly 6 months.
Yeah.
And there's the rough thing where Nickelodeon refused to allow anyone to produce more than 20 episodes a year.
And also, the scheduling seems to change wildly without much notice.
I mean, I think they're reasonably consistent once it's been decided, but before it's been decided, because it's not one of their shows, they don't mind just putting it where it goes. So, I mean, someone else, but there's not really a lot of other channels in the US left to take it.
Or Netflix could just
Yeah,
pick it up.
Netflix could pick it up as a children's
I mean,
show.
look, Netflix picking it up is the dream for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Except for us, because if they drop 40 episodes of Power Rangers all at once...
Do they do that with their children's shows?
I don't know.
Right.
I think Netflix would know how many people are watching Power Rangers on Netflix.
Yeah.
They would know whether that's a worthwhile investment for them.
Yeah.
The fact that Power Rangers has been on Netflix for quite a while
Yes.
is probably a good sign.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'd be shocked if that happened.
It seems like increasingly too, they're trying to not just program original programming that will have lots of views.
Yeah.
But also just produce a more well-rounded
Yes.
selection. So even if like a whole bunch of people don't necessarily watch it, it's good to be able to point to and be like, look, we have the whole package.
I think the issue there is for Saban to think it's worth making Power Rangers.
Yeah.
They have to sell a lot of toys to a lot of children.
Sure.
And if the viewership isn't there to make kids think that the giant robot is cool, then...
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I definitely think that in the future, that's something that could happen.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it happened in 2017.
Yeah.
Especially because that's going to be movie year.
Yeah.
It will be a big time for Power Rangers. And I think they will want it to be in as many homes as possible.
Yeah.
So that's Ninja Steel. More on that, I guess, as it comes. This is the season with the American Ninja Power Ranger who like has a cowboy hat and bandana and morphs with a cheeseburger morpher.
Yes.
So I'm very excited about what they do there.
And was it Ninja that had...
Ninja is the one where all the Megazords sit inside other Megazords.
Yeah. But Coda, or the guy who plays Coda, did he...
Yes, he
in that?
does have a 3-second cameo in that.
Yeah. So that was the first time an American Power Ranger has appeared in Super Sentai.
Yes. I mean, yeah, look, who knows?
If he could reprise his character from Ninja in Power Rangers Ninja Steel...
I mean, I feel like my dream is that Coda comes back
Yes.
and is another Power Ranger again.
Yeah.
But it's probably a long shot.
Yes. He doesn't have to be a Power Ranger again, he just hang out.
She just hangs out.
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
He'd be like the Alpha 5.
they could just give him the outfit that he had in that.
Yep.
So that it fits when that happens.
Yep.
Okay, let's write our letter, because it's not too late.
I mean, like, they kept... I mean, the spoilers... you haven't seen any of Zero, have you?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Cool. More news.
No, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
That's
Cool.
it.
All right, never mind. We're going to go watch episode 120.
120.
120.
A brush with destiny. Now, is it just going to be like a hairbrush monster?
That's so possible, I can't even tell you.
I don't know what the destiny is going to be.
What if it's like a broom or something?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a literal brushing object,
Yep.
that's what I'm expecting.
They don't even... Like, Destiny is such a broad term.
Yes.
That nothing has to happen for Destiny to be involved, really.
Could it be a paintbrush? Because like
Oh yeah,
Painting,
paintbrush.
yeah.
Yeah, that's... I mean, look, let's find out, but let's all agree that we're not going to be surprised when that happens.
Yes. Before we go and see that, though, I
Yes.
should tell you all that we have an internet website.
Internet website.
That's my favourite type of website, and it has been for many years.
Yep.
www.rangedangerpodcast.com. If you want to send us an internet email, yes, we have both. We're rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com.
That's the one.
Yep. Twitter tweets. Also my favourite type of Twitter tweet. We're very picky about our media forms here. We're at RangerDcast on Twitter if you want to send us a Twitter tweet. We're also on Facebook, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google+. Plus, we have a shop that's rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop where you can buy things and stuff if we've fixed it. Have we fixed it?
It wasn't broken. It was just different.
Okay.
Did you say tune in?
No.
Okay, we're on TuneIn.
We're on TuneIn.
We're basically on everywhere. If you've got a thing that we're not on,
Yep.
and you're like, why aren't they on there? Send us one of the many things that we are on, and say, why aren't you guys on there?
Yeah.
Except-
It might be a box. We'll get on the box. We'll send you a photo. It's just so we can confirm that we're on the box. What are you doing with your eyes?
I don't know. Okay, we're going to go watch A Brush with Destiny, and we'll be back in a sec.
And we're back.
That was so good.
That was really enjoyable. Besides all the incredible racism,
It's just the French. We don't care about them.
it's weird.
In fact, I don't care about them so much that when you said racism, I instantly thought, what was racist? Despite the fact that this episode had a monster who talked like this and he's a painter, the only thing he was missing was a baguette,
There
right?
were multiple references to
yeah.
making people eat bagels.
Yeah, like-
no bagels on the baguettes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like automatically,
Croissants.
the thought
Yeah.
that I had was, when was this episode racist?
I think what that means is you're racist.
It's just the French, no one cares.
I think
Like, just try and remove yourself from it. Think about what you just said.
Yeah.
it was the 90s.
No.
It's okay, Matt.
There
Would you
were-
like to eat some cheese?
Yeah, we grew up okay, except Michael.
Yeah.
We
What happened to you that made you hate the French?
I don't hate the French. I just think it's okay
maybe
to
he
mock
saw
them.
this episode and like it scared him.
No, look, here's the deal. The French, historically, haven't really been oppressed that much. The French have done pretty well. So it's okay to be a bit
like,
mean to
think
them.
back to World War II.
Oh, yeah,
when
no,
their
no,
city
no,
was
no.
occupied by Nazis.
Yeah, but like, they came out of that okay.
And then think back to a couple of months ago.
Yeah, no, but that was the global terror. Everyone's suffering under that. I'm not... Look,
Whoa!
I'm just saying, compared to, like, the Jews or black people, French people have it pretty good. That's geographical fact. You
I'm
can't
sorry,
argue
the
with that.
attack on Paris was really an attack on everybody.
It was
and we
part-
all suffered together.
No. I'm just saying it wasn't particularly an attack on the French because they were French. It's not the same as slavery, which was keeping people as things because they had the same skin colour.
Well, I mean, it wasn't exclusively black people that were slaves.
No,
but I
but-
take your point. Anyway, yeah, I don't think it's okay.
I'm saying historically, the French have done all right.
Okay, cool.
I don't think that can be argued with.
They did.
No, my
Occupy
point is
places.
that I don't think that makes racism okay.
Matt, I have one answer.
Yeah.
Would you like a baguette? Or a croissant? We'll give you some cheese.
Oh, I'm so worried we have some French listeners that are like not only going to like stop the scene, but also just come for us.
It's okay, they'll just surrender.
Oh boy.
I fucking
I'm
hate
so-
their ninja hoods. I'm just gonna get right into it.
Yeah,
I don't like
I
them.
much prefer when they're in their original uniforms.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having trouble switching tracks.
I don't like them, and I don't understand why there's a shot in the opening credits of them on incredibly slow bikes.
You mean the track cycles?
I don't know what they're called. All I know is that the only thing I've seen of them so far is them going down the road at about 5 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, but they're driving through explosions, and explosions are like puddles or something you shouldn't rush.
I don't think that's true.
Is that not how that
I
works?
feel like if
Yeah.
an explosion is happening,
They're just-
your goal should not be to move through it as carefully as possible.
They're just driving slow mo to make it look cool.
No, but the explosion happens quickly.
No, it's just a super fast explosion.
Yeah.
Alright, so in the youth centre,
Yeah.
where everything happens,
Yes.
it's the Junior Police Patrol Art Benefit.
Yep.
We're really doubling down on this junior police thing, aren't we?
Yeah, it's not going away.
So Kim is working on a sculpture,
Yeah.
and she's got good news and bad news. The good news is her mum is engaged to a French painter.
Hooray!
That's
And
him over there.
Aisha's like, oh, he's pretty cute. And Kimberly's like, yeah, it's my stepdad. He is pretty cute, isn't he? That's weird.
It's a little weird.
That's a little weird thing
It's a
that
little
happens.
weird. She says he's really nice too, which is nice.
That's nice.
This episode could have easily gone, my mum's marrying this guy and I don't like him.
Yes.
And it takes an interesting, different angle.
Yeah.
He is a French stereotype.
Yeah, he is.
has a
Pretty much anything that's French in this is a stereotype. Like, that's the problem.
he has a hat. He's a painter.
How else would you know he was French if he wasn't throwing around baguettes?
He's got a little moustache. It's great. But the bad news is he lives in Paris and they're moving there.
Oh no! What will happen to Kimberly? That sets up dramatic tension.
It does. Tommy and Aisha look pretty bummed about it.
Yes.
They have teleporters.
Yes.
I mean, I understand.
But
that-
I imagine if she left Angel Grove, she would have to not be a Power Ranger.
Well, but here's the thing, right? Zordon's known her for what must have been a couple of years now.
Yes.
I don't feel like he'd have a problem with Kim and Tommy occasionally teleporting to each other.
Yes, I understand.
Like, certainly, it is not ideal.
Yeah.
But, like, they exist in a world where they have instantaneous teleportation.
Yeah.
The rules on that are a bit sketchy. It's like in Dino Charge, when it's like, oh, something's in New Zealand, how are we ever going to get there? You know? There's, I think, yeah.
Sure.
Maybe teleport to France takes a while. As opposed to another planet, which is only...
Yeah. So, Kim's on the phone to Aisha.
Yeah.
And she's, like, just before bed. And she says, look...
We see Kim in bed
Yeah.
a lot more than any other character.
Yes, we do. I mean, I'm going to choose to believe that the reason for that is that Amy Jo Johnson gets all the actual storylines in this show.
Yes.
Whereas everyone else just gets, oh, look, there's a girl, which they can just do at school.
The thing is, though, like, this scene did not have to be Kimberley in bed on the phone.
Well, no, it did, Matt,
No.
because of what happens next.
No, but I think it's also because what happens next. But that is something that a lot of girls in high school would do. Is they're going to bed and they're upset, so they call their best friend, and they're like, "I'm really sad," and they're just laying in bed. Like it's something that.
It's true.
It threw me off a bit because Aisha says, like, look, let's meet up before school. We'll think of something.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do?
Jailbreak.
I was thinking they were gonna like suggest, "Let's kidnap you."
Yeah, like, whatever the outcome is, this is a family that's apparently made a decision to move to France.
Yeah.
What, like...
What is there to think of?
Yeah. Also, he's a painter.
Yes.
He could move.
You can't.
Like,
Outside of France. do not all paintings come from France? It's like champagne, right? You can't call it a painting if it's not from Paris.
Right. What is it outside Paris? Is it just a
It's just
paint sheet?
it's just a mess. It's just a
not
mess.
worthwhile.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Like, I'm not suggesting that Angel Grove is a bustling metropolis with a thriving art scene.
Yes.
But if he's a famous painter, which apparently he is...
Is he?
Well, I think
Well, they
Kim
said
says,
yes,
yeah, like,
but maybe that's just famous to Angel Grove.
Yeah, like he's just like his art at the Angel Grove Junior Police Art Benefit.
Well, I assume that because
Mate, it's
he
a
has
charity
a
work.
local connection, he's doing a charity donation.
Yeah.
But I feel like, he could get up and move and not disrupt the teenage girl that he's about to step parent.
I'm sorry, are you saying that the lazy Frenchman should get up off his ass and help the hardworking Americans?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It'd be nice if he didn't surrender about the idea of moving.
You're a bad person.
And
This
then...
podcast has deviated.
It's fine, because what's about to happen is the greatest thing this show has ever done.
Uh-huh.
Kim has a dream.
Yeah.
So, Kim, is walking through your standard black room with smoke on the floor.
Yeah.
And then in front of her, she sees her mother talking to the French painter.
Yes.
And then he becomes a monster.
Yes.
A French painter monster.
Yes.
And then she turns around and the Pink Ranger waves goodbye to her.
Yes. And then the monster calls her his little croissant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I thought as a podcast we had an established position
I love this monster.
about racist.
I nearly love this
character
monster
feedback.
as much as I love Pumpkin Rapper.
Okay. Alright.
If this monster spoke in rhyme, he would be definitively the best.
Cool.
It is only the fact that he speaks not in rhyme that is letting him down. So then, Finster,
Yep.
on the moon, just brings Lord Zed and Rita something. He just says, hey guys, been tinkering, here's something. It's a device that lets you see people's dreams.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah!
It's kind of like the rad bug. Like, the significance of this invention is deeply underplayed.
Like, can it just read people's minds when they're awake? Does it only work on dreams? If so, why?
Can we do it to Zordon and find out the location of all the important stuff in the universe?
Does Zordon sleep?
Yeah, I mean, that's a question.
Yeah, the idea that someone would invent a device that lets you see people's dreams, and I guarantee this is the last time that ever shows up, even just as an episode setup tool, You think you could get so much more mileage out of that?
Like, that would be so useful in, like, if this was real life villains and things. Because using people's fears against them is
Yeah.
a great idea
Yeah.
as a terrible person.
Yeah.
But, like, that's going to scare people more than, like, just randomly giving them monsters that pop up.
Absolutely.
So,
Sorry, just as an aside.
Yeah.
I think Does Zordon Dream of Time Warp Sheep would be the name of my Power Rangers in Philosophy book.
Okay.
Let everyone know.
All right, thanks for sharing that. So they ask Kim if she's tried. They were in the park the next morning.
Yep.
They ask Kim if she's tried talking it over with her mother.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that's definitely where I'd start.
And they also mention that she looks very tired, which is very rude.
Yeah.
Kim hasn't spoken to her mother.
Isn't that like girl code for it looks like you didn't do your makeup this morning?
Is it?
Or am I
Well, that makes
misunderstanding?
sense, I guess.
Well, generally, like, if someone says you look tired, it's probably because you haven't put makeup on.
Yeah.
Right. That's good to know. I should write it down.
So probably don't say it.
Yeah.
Just as a like
As
people
a-
people
But
get
what
a
if
bit
they do look
self-conscious.
tired and I'm concerned?
Well, then you say you seem tired. You don't say you
Oh,
look
no, that's
tired.
way too fucking complicated for me.
It's not that complicated.
I've already forgotten it. So Kim doesn't want to tell her mother because she doesn't want to spoil things for her.
Yep.
That's noble,
Yeah.
but also, like, did her mother never ask?
No, her mother's rude.
Did her mother not say, listen, I've fallen in love with a French man.
Yes.
I'm thinking about us moving to Paris. How do you feel about that?
Maybe she just assumed that Kimberley would be incredibly excited and didn't really consider that.
Yeah, maybe Kimberley has like little Paris things all over her bed, like a lot of girls do. How they've got like and so she's just like she's gonna love this idea. We're gonna go to Paris.
Michael
she
doesn't
has
understand that position though, because he can't see anything redeeming in that whole country, I believe.
I mean, that's not entirely true. There's some nice buildings. Look, I have no problems with the French. I just think it's okay to mock them. That's my official position.
I have some French friends.
I don't think I do, but that's not specifically because every time I meet a French person, I'm opposed to them. It's just because I don't know any French people.
I mean, because when you meet them, you mock them, and you're like, no, it's okay.
yeah,
I
you
mock
start
because
just
of your
being like,
race."
"Ha, baguette," and then they're like,
My accent is better than that.
"Yeah,
Not
and
a lot better.
and that would probably offend them more."
Okay, so look, let's not get sidetracked.
Alright.
They ask Kim if she's told Zordon.
Yes.
Which seems like a reasonable position.
Yep.
Kim just says, I think he already knows.
I think Billy says that.
Oh,
actually.
does he?
Yeah. And that's a weird thing
It's
to say.
weird, isn't it?
I don't, like, I know that Zordon sees everything.
Yes.
I don't want to be reminded.
No. Especially because, you know, it's not like something, it's something that they've talked about in private.
Yes, it should in no way be related to his concerns.
Even if Zordon knows, when she tells him he should pretend he doesn't know.
Yes.
That's the polite thing to do.
Yes. And also the thing that will not remind her that he watches her while she's sleeping.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Like, hey Kimberley, you dropped the soap in the shower this morning.
Ah! No.
Because I'm watching you just all the time. What if you get attacked by a shower monster? I gotta be prepared.
Oh, no. I wasn't prepared to feel this bad this episode.
Finster's machine, by the way,
Yeah.
he's just done some minor tweaks. Now he can turn dreams into reality.
Yeah. That's also very useful. And I don't think anyone there appreciates. I bet this machine never comes back as well.
No, it won't. But it would be, like I said, it would be such a great thing.
Even Finster just sells it as like, yeah, I've done that now.
Yeah, no NDB, bro.
Though that could just be because he feels useless because they always yell at him. So he doesn't think he's worth anything.
Oh, poor Vincent.
Tengas, or Tengu, I don't remember which is which. Tenga? Tenga.
Yeah, I think.
So the Rangers ninja morph? I don't know what we're going to call that.
Ninjaizing?
They what they do is they yell ninja power now.
Yep.
And then they do like a dumb hand gesture.
Oh, no, it's not. It's like Tico fingers. Actually, no, because that's thumbs.
They like
No.
they like
That's
stick
really-
out their pinkies and cross their hands, and electricity goes between their pinkies.
If you were going to suggest that someone was like doing two bongs at once, but without using your mouth, that's kind of what the hand gesture is. You haven't seen this one before?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that something French people do? Because that might be why. So look,
I
now,
was trying to leave it. You're the one who's bringing it
now
back.
they're in their dumb ninja hoods.
Yep.
And it's just not as good as an unmorphed fight.
Yes,
Because it could just be anyone under there.
I agree.
Their clothes are as baggy
Yeah,
as
it's just...
it's the 90s.
They're not.
Everything's
And
baggy.
it's just not great. And Tommy does look like he's in the KKK.
Yes. I would forgive this a little bit if they started using some of their ninja powers they used the last
Yep.
time, but that does not happen.
I just feel like at least the version of the ninja hoods where you can see their faces,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
a better step than the one where they just have eye holes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I understand in broad strokes that having a uniform that doesn't conceal their identities is kind of missing a bit.
Yeah,
Like, functionally for them, if
Sure.
not for the show. But, yeah, it doesn't look great.
yeah. All right. So some of the Tenga grab Kim,
Yep.
and they just drag her away to a tree on the other side of the park.
Yep.
Rito shows up, and he's kind of menacing, really.
I love Rito so much. Every time Rito enters the scene, I have a great time. Because Rito takes everything with the amount of serious consideration
Yeah.
that is due to the events around him.
Yes, sure.
He rolls in, he does not give a fuck about anything, he's just there to have a good time.
He does not. It's a shame that this, in particular, him,
Yep.
seems to have finally sidelined Babu and Squat.
Yeah. And Goldar.
And yeah, but I'm less worried about Goldar.
Yeah.
I don't care. So Rito knocks Kim's communicator off,
Yeah.
despite it not actually being on, like it's under gloves. Anyway.
Maybe he cuts it off.
I mean, that's not what happens,
No,
but
it's
sure.
just, it just
No.
gets hit.
But doesn't he hit it with his sword?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Because I noticed when she puts it back on, it doesn't clip up. It's just sort of dangling on her
Oh,
wrist.
that's just because she hadn't clipped it up. I think it gets
Right.
clipped up later.
She's just lazy.
lazy, yeah.
This is your first experience with Rito?
Yes.
How did you enjoy Rito?
Although I do remember him from
Right.
when I was younger.
Well, how do you
But
feel about Rito then, as a more general?
I thought he was pretty cool. I was a fan.
I agree.
I like the whole look.
It's a good look.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking monster.
Not quite how I'd phrase it.
Not attract, not
Well,
sexually.
he looks scary, but like he plays funny.
Yeah.
Like it's a good blend.
So then they summon from Kimberley's mind
Yep.
Artist Mole.
Yes.
Excellent name, A+, well done guys.
Is it?
Yeah, he's an artist who's a mole. It's not even a pun. It's in the same vein of like Pumpkin Rapper, who's a pumpkin who raps.
Yes.
It's just, there's like, I don't know what the joke's going to be. What if there's just no joke?
Yeah.
What if he's just an artist who's a mole and we call him Artist Mole? Yep, done. Let's go for lunch. Let's do some sick donuts.
I'm sure in the writer's room they're like, well, I just kind of moles anyway, you know what I mean? That was the end of the conversation.
Fucking French people. The baguettes.
Yeah, that probably happened.
Yeah.
You're probably better suited to be a Power Ranger writer than I thought.
Yeah, that's right, because we all hate the French.
Yeah, we all do.
Bulk
Not
and
all of
Skull,
us.
Bulk and Skull fall asleep while they're meant to be watching some paintings.
Yes.
That's
Which I get. That would be a boring ass job.
yeah. I mean, I don't see
Yeah, but
why
I-
put the paintings out the day before.
No. What? Yeah. Why?
Because
Like-
they're trying to make it classy, like a
What
proper-
part of that is classy?
Yeah. What part of having Bulk and Skull in the room is classy?
Oh god.
Though they seem very serious about this like job thing, but then like they fall asleep. Like they're not very good at being
Comparatively, like attitude-wise, from where
Yeah.
they were to where they are now, it is progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying. That's a step in the right
It is.
direction.
Yeah, they're just
Uh,
not doing very well.
No.
The painting disappears from behind them.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So they're interrogating some poor kid.
Yeah, their police brutality starts early.
Yeah,
They are twisting his arm
That's the
behind his
third
back.
class.
Yeah.
That's so first we shave your hair,
Yep.
then boot camp, then police brutality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Billy and Adam walk past.
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh, the painting's missing. Probably Zed and Rita."
Yeah. They don't even like seem overly concerned about it. Just like, yeah,
All right, I
the
guess-
growth is gonna happen.
I guess we're gonna find a painting. I guess that's what's gonna happen. So they all teleport to the command center, the
Yep.
whole team, except Kim, who can't find everyone and doesn't have a communicator.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Artist Mole
Yep.
drains the colours from living things which apparently includes houses.
Yes.
And that takes their life force.
Yes.
And their life force is kind of just generally like their energy.
Do you think, like,
Yeah.
homes have life force because they're filled with all of that positive sentiment that a family
I think
provides
that's
to-
much more thought than anyone involved in this show ever put in, yes.
Well, that's my headcanon.
Okay, sure. So they all teleport down to fight him.
Yep.
Yes.
He makes some explosions with his paintbrush. He's got a giant palette and a
Yep.
giant paintbrush. And
I
he
was
can,
correct. It was a paintbrush.
It was, yeah,
It was
good
a
call.
paintbrush.
You nailed that one.
And he can shoot like explosions from his paintbrush
Why doesn't he, like, paint objects and then use them against them?
because that would cost money.
Yeah.
It wouldn't cost that much to make, like, 3 giant props, right?
I mean, sure. But anyway, Tommy's a cocky asshole.
Yep.
He's all like, no, I've got this, it's fine. Tries to kick him, just goes straight through him because he's made of paint.
This is what redeems this monster a bit for me. This is a cool effect.
Yes.
Like, Tommy goes through him and then there's, like, some digital paint.
Yeah.
Yes.
That actually looks quite cool.
Yeah.
Much to my surprise.
I mean, I think where it gets lucky is it doesn't have to look like a real thing.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
looks like cartoon paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which kind of works for it.
That works for it.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the previous effects in that nature that we've seen, like those ghosts. Remember the ghosts? Remember when there was just a cave full of
We
ghosts?
did. Nobody else did. Nobody else talked about those ghosts.
That was kind of less sensible.
Part of me worries that, like, we're the only ones who even saw the ghosts.
Oh,
You know?
people send us emails like, what ghosts are you talking about? We've got secret haunted Netflix. 'Cause, like, we watched The Ring on Netflix. Anyway, the Rangers all jump right through Artist Mole.
I mean, like, once Tommy does it, it looks cool. You kind of got to be like, yeah, I want to try that.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're like, well, fuck, we give up. Let's summon Ninja.
Hang on. No, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I wrote it down.
I did.
Lay it on me. Give me the line.
Ninja, we summon you from on high.
Yeah, then he rides in on a cloud because it's fucking Ninja.
Yep.
I love that guy.
So, Kaylee, do you remember Ninja?
Not from watching it back in the day. I don't. He was a surprise for me because I was like, who is this? What is...
Why is he a robot? Why is he on a cloud?
Why have they made this friend? What happened here?
He's the one who gave them the ninja powers.
Because I remember watching the movie version of them getting the ninja powers, but I don't remember them getting them in the show.
Sure.
So
that is not Ninja in the movie.
No.
No.
So my memory of them getting ninja powers is always going to be the movie because that's
Sure.
what I remember.
I mean, they're quite similar, except for all of the ways in which they're different.
Yes. And most notably, the lack of ninja in the movie,
Yeah.
which of its many failings, maybe its greatest.
I mean, to be fair, they replace her with someone who's basically Xena but wearing less clothes.
That's true.
Like, if you had to replace Ninja, that's a good call. So anyway, they summon Ninja. Ninja's like, hey guys, I'll sort this out. Sword attack, goes right through Artist Mole.
And then he's like,
This
yeah,
is not going how I expected.
Which, like, he's been alive for thousands of years. Everything he's swung his sword at something, it's been cut.
Yep.
This is the first time he's swung his sword at something.
I feel like
and
he's
not
like
been cut.
secretly impressed by this. He's
Oh,
like,
100%. He's like, wow, I do not see many new things. They're very old. This is different, and I like it.
So then Artist Mole drains all their colour.
Yes.
Draining it doesn't kill them.
although
it just-
for a time period later, there's a bit where you see the Black Ranger, and I did not realize that he had changed colours.
Yeah. That's
I will,
probably the black and white
at
Rangers.
this point, because it was like during the thing, and
Yep.
I thought that he'd gotten the powers back because it showed him, and then they went back to the whole lot, and I was like, oh, I guess they didn't yet. Like,
This is a fine effect, well handled. It's like they don't cheat it by having everything around them go black as well, which
Yeah.
means someone had to like choose the right frames and
Yeah.
Yeah.
do an effect there, and it looks good. And because they're normally so like colourful, it's obviously a thing that's happening to
Yeah.
them.
Kaylee makes it like a good point, though. It would have been really cool if they did this and Adam and Tommy were not affected by it.
Because they're just black and white.
Yeah.
Oh,
well.
So they keep searching for Kimberley.
Yep.
She eventually finds her communicator. She's been backtracing her steps.
So when you say they keep searching for Kimberley, that's referring to Zordon and Alpha.
Yes, sorry.
Who, as the episode reminded us earlier,
Are always watching.
always watching.
Yeah.
Except for when they need to find someone.
Yep. True.
they're like, where did she go? I have no idea.
Maybe they just try and
Did-
pretend that they don't watch her all the time.
Did we lose her? What happened?
So Kim grabs her communicator.
Yep.
And she says, "Hey, hey Zordon, what's up?" And it would be a shame if he said, "Well, Kim, all the Rangers are dead thanks to you."
Yeah.
She looked like she was working like a part-time job, and her boss had called and was like, "Why are you 10 minutes late?" And she's like, "Oh, oops."
Yeah.
I lost my phone. So Kim teleports into the command center.
Yep.
And they have a chat about how, hey, that's the monster from her dreams. And Alpha's like, oh, well, the other Rangers thought it was from a painting. That's kind of exciting.
Everyone doesn't seem very concerned by any of these
No,
events.
no one's worried that it's a monster from
From
Kimberley's dreams.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, that's not what I thought that was. All right.
You thought it was a painting, came from your head, that's fine.
No one's like, oh, I hope Billy doesn't have a dream, like a nightmare tomorrow night, about a virus that kills all the people.
Yeah, I hope no one dreams about black holes. Kim can only destroy Artist Mold by facing her fears.
Yes.
And Kim's like, that's fine, I'm not afraid of him.
I like that beat.
Yeah.
It's a monster. I fought so many
So
monsters.
I actually have lost count.
Yeah.
I used to have a list where I ranked them. I don't have that anymore because there were too many.
And then I was like, do I put Giant Tommy on the list? There's some ambiguities with the
Yes,
list.
he's like Goldar, we keep beating him, but sometimes he's got to play, you know, where do we... Anyway, and Zordon's like, no, I know you're not afraid of him. It's your other fears that you're going to have to confront. Which doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever.
I mean, he is a monster from her nightmares.
Yeah,
Yes.
like he's the physical form of what she's feeling.
Yeah,
like
sure.
she created that because that's what she's... So maybe she's racist.
Yes, that's definitely true this time.
I'm fine with being on that boat with her. I'll be on the racist boat.
I think you're the captain of the racist boat.
You just want to be in a boat with her.
Other people are like,
Me
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
I
Who would want to be on a boat?
I know what you're talking about. Whereas you're like, I'm so proud of my racism.
I'm saying it's okay to make fun of them. I wouldn't want to exclude them from something. It's like, I'm fine with people saying, you know, g'day mate, chuck another shrimp on the
Yeah.
Barbie,
Yeah.
boomerang didgeridoo.
No, I get that. But if someone came up to me and said they were offended by it, I'd be like, I can understand why.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's okay. That's not a knife, that's a knife. It's great. We're a great country.
Moving on.
So Zordon's like, everyone's afraid of the unknown. Just trust your mum.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. And Kim says, my mum won't let anything bad happen to me.
she let you become a Power Ranger.
Yeah, right. That's a noble position. But for 2 and a bit years, you've been a child soldier fighting a moon witch and a skinless demon monster.
She doesn't know that.
Yeah, that's
No,
the point.
that's the thing.
She
right?
doesn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? What's in France? Has her mum done any research?
But we don't... Like, Kimberley is in a better position than she probably was recently. Like, she's fine, she's a superhero, and she's learned some pretty important life lessons.
That's true.
So technically, nothing bad has really happened to her.
No, but it could have.
Yeah, like
Yeah, but
it
that's
puts
still
her
life.
it puts her in dangers all the time. Like
I'm just saying, like, the assumption that her mother will always be capable of keeping her safe when her mother, for what's at least 2 years, has not known that she's been fighting giant monsters.
it is a nice moment though. Like
Yeah,
I do
and
appreciate it for her character. Like
Yeah.
I think that's like it's cute, and I think you notice, like, you really remember they are teenagers.
Sure.
And like they do have families, and they're like,
And I think you could certainly make the argument that Kimberly's mother is largely responsible for the life skills that have led her to not dying at the hands of monsters.
Sure. Like that time she knew how to fly a plane
Yeah.
because of her Uncle Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Uncle Steve, the original script for this episode features Kim having a chat with Uncle Steve.
Ah.
And Uncle Steve was the show's story editor at the time. So it's not like he was someone who would have been difficult for them to get.
Yep.
I assume it was
it
just
was
cut
probably
for
just time. Yeah. Well,
But
I mean,
that would have been nice.
As much as it would have been nice, I can understand why it is completely unnecessary.
Yes.
yeah. I mean, if it was a more plot-based TV show, I would be
Yes.
like, yes, you probably need that. But considering the type of show it is, you don't.
If the alternatives are that or the giant robots fighting,
Yeah.
definitely got a preference.
Yeah.
Kim, if she destroys Artist Noel's palette, all the colours will come out.
Yes.
she goes down. She fights him.
He
She's gonna
shoves
lose.
the paintbrush in her face.
She punches, kicks, and shoots everything but his palette.
Yep. And then, like, she gets some inner strength and just blade blasters him to death.
It's a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
In that, like, he's basically got his paintbrush up in her face and she's on the ground and she has to, like, push him off and take
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
She does like a judo throw.
Yeah.
He gets giant, as you may have come to expect from this show.
Yes.
They summon the Ninja Zord.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't hate the Megazord.
I don't like
Like,
it.
here's the thing. I think it's third on the list of the 3 we've had so far.
Yes.
But I don't think it's like... I don't hate it. The summoning sequence is weak.
Yes. And I think every time a new Megazord appears on the show, it's going to continually go below that Megazord. You know? I think it'd be a long time before you get to a Megazord that's worse than it.
Really?
Can you think of one?
No, but I'm having trouble thinking of any.
Sure.
Because, like, outside of the Dino Charge one, there's not a lot that I'm particularly familiar with.
I can think of most of them up until about Time Force.
Right.
And none of them...
Yes, see, I can't remember a lot of their Megazords other than the original.
Yeah.
And I did I watched In Space and a couple of the
If
other
I
ones.
can be honest, 90% of my continuing like for it is the amazing drawing Ash did for our movie special.
Sure.
That is like...
That makes it a lot better.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, it's that cool one. Yeah. Okay, so then Ninja grows and he goes into battle mode.
Yep.
Did you know that in the Sentai, he's called Ninja Man?
Yep.
And his samurai form is called Samurai Man?
I did. It's pretty cool.
Amazing.
My only disappointment, and I know this is relying on Japanese footage,
Yeah.
is that they didn't really keep up with the theme of, like, he goes into that form and he gets angry.
Yes.
This time he just does it. It's a super weak Megazord fight as well.
Yeah, it is.
It's over
Yeah,
in
I
seconds.
think they hit him twice.
Yeah.
And then he's...
Speaking of disappointing Ninja facts,
Yep.
did you know Ninja reappeared in the Sentai that became Super Mega Force? And they did not bring Ninja back for Super Mega Force?
Why?
Yep.
God, Super Megaforce keeps failing me even long after it's finished.
I mean, it's not even like you'd have to find an actor.
Nope.
It's like, it's a funny voice.
Yes.
Someone could fake that funny voice.
Look, I don't care how wrong they get that voice. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a hang-up for you.
What a bizarre decision.
Wouldn't it? I feel like if it happened, you'd be like very disappointed if they...
No, I would prefer they get the voice right, but having Ninja back at all...
If you get the voice wrong, like, oh, something happened and it affected his vocal... like, you
He
can
got
fake
punched in
that.
the
He's a
throat,
robot.
now he's
like,
weird.
Oh, yeah, he's a robot.
Yeah.
He downloaded new software.
He's a robot with like
He was
20 years
He was
between
upgraded
those
and he
two
got worse.
things.
Or better. It's like,
He
that
took
was
a better
pretty stupid
voice. What if, oh, I'm Ninja!
Well, that would be fine.
I got the samurai mode!
Because he wouldn't be French, you know. It would just be a very odd choice instead of a racist choice.
So Ninja shoots a fireball.
Yep.
The Megazord does its ape wolf fist attack.
You know what I found interesting in the sequence? That
I do like that bit.
I
I'm just
like
going to
that
say
bit
that
too.
I like that bit.
Yeah, it's cool. It was just done better previously.
Yeah.
All the Zords are called like Ape Ninja Zord.
Yeah.
Frog Ninja Zord. Or in the full version, it's like Red Ninja,
Yeah,
Ape
yeah.
Ninja Zord. The White Rangers one is just a White Ranger Falcon Zord.
Yeah.
There's no ninja involved. I'm confused by the naming conventions.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a show.
He's the White Ranger. He's special.
This is a show that couldn't decide if it was the Mega Tiger Zord, or
Or the
the
Tiger
Tiger Megazord, or the Super Tiger Megazord, or the
Super Mega Tiger Zord.
Yeah, this is a
Tiger
show
Zord,
that
Mega
called
Tiger.
tore two
I
different
feel like
things
there's
in two sentences.
There's a common theme here, and it's the White Ranger. And maybe he just doesn't understand how to do the job properly.
He's just
That's
like,
true.
what is it called? Like, it's the ninja.
Ninja White Zord.
It's
and then the
definitely
Zord
a
is
falcon.
just like, oh, not again. My name is.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're done. They beat Artist Mole.
Yep.
Job done. Okay, so yeah, monster defeated, Artist Mole done. Back at the art benefit.
Yep.
The French painter man took the painting to fix the frame. He returns it. Problem solved. It's a very weak Bulk and Skull plot this week.
Yes. I feel like in theory, the idea was to make us think that it was the Standard Lord Zed plot where he stole something and created a monster from it. But the way the story is structured, we find out that's not the case way before the characters do.
The way you do that is you then have them learn that it came from Kimberly's dream and she's the only one who can defeat it.
Yeah, did the other Rangers learn that?
She probably told them afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just the episode tells us up front, I've got a device that can take monsters from her dream.
Yeah.
It's never in question for the viewer as to where it's from.
Yeah. Yeah, misplaced dramatic tension there.
Yeah. Anyway, then we get a scene that I found genuinely surprising.
Yeah.
Which is Kim just basically confronts her mum.
Yep.
And says, look, I'm like however old I am and I've got friends here and I'm very worried about just moving to France.
And she's very mature about it as well, which
Yeah.
is great. It's not like, oh, I'm chucking a tantrum. It's like, I have legitimate concerns.
It's like, I understand that you guys are going to get married and that's a thing.
And she's like, I'm happy. I really am. That's
Yeah.
why I haven't brought it up yet. But now that we're going,
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about it.
And then Aisha comes through with a solution, like an actual effective solution.
Yeah, presented in a strange way.
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
So Aisha's there with her parents, and she basically pictures that what's going to happen, maybe, if everyone's happy with it, is Kim, for at least the rest of the school year, can stay with Aisha's family.
Yep.
And Kim's mum can go to Paris. And then at the end of the year, Kim can finish up, say her goodbyes, and then move on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that way she's not leaving. I like Kim's mum basically goes, that does make a lot of sense not to take her out literally
In the middle of
the
school.
year.
Yeah.
And part of me, I don't know how true this is, part of me feels like this is their last year of high school.
It could be.
There's some, and I can't quite put my finger on it, there seems to be some implications that that's the case.
I'm trying to think, I know they stay at high school, but they very soon go to new Power Rangers who could be younger.
Not that soon.
Oh no, actually there's a season in between. Are they in high school in Zeo?
I genuinely can't remember.
No, I don't know either. I know the Turbo Rangers are in high school, but that's a new batch of people who could just be younger.
And I also know that by Turbo, before we get the new Turbo Rangers, the current ones are like adults doing jobs.
Yes.
So
yeah, okay. So this is probably close to their last year of high school.
Yep.
Yeah, which makes sense. Let her finish high school.
Yep.
And then she can go to university in France.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, that works. Kim's mum says, is that a problem for you guys, adopting a child for 6 months? They're like, nah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, no big deal. It did make me feel a little uncomfortable for Kimberley's parents, who got put on the spot in a pretty weird way.
Yeah.
Like, they got asked by someone else's parents, like, hey, can we have your kid for 6 months? And kind of had to make a decision in public
But
about it.
I imagine that being how close the Power Rangers are as friends that you see throughout the thing, like they are like best friends.
Yeah.
The parents would know each
each
other.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
despite the fact that we've never seen them on
Yeah.
screen together.
Yeah.
You,
certainly
I imagine that
yeah.
they would.
Sure.
I imagine they hang out outside of school, other than just like defeating monsters.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a nice solution to the problem.
Yeah.
So my understanding is that at this point, Amy Jo Johnson had basically expressed that she would be leaving the show.
Yep.
And that she wasn't going to just drop it and leave.
Yep.
She was giving them time.
She was giving them notice that this was going to be a thing that would happen. So what we are seeing now is the show giving itself an excuse for them to go, okay, it is now time for Kimberley to leave.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, they didn't have to do that.
Yeah, no, it's surprisingly, again, kind of back to mature of them.
Yeah.
To handle it that way, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, too, it adds a bit of simmering dramatic tension there where, like, it's probably not going to be addressed directly for a while, but now you've got in the back of your head that Kimberley's time is coming up.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and that's going to leave a hole in the team that's going to need to be filled. Like, what's going to happen?
I think after like rewatching episodes as I've grown up, she is actually one of the best characters.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
On there.
she's the strongest actor,
Yeah.
I think, unquestionably.
Well, I know
certainly-
she had like some small parts as like extras on like proper.
She's
TV shows.
acted since,
Yes.
which is not true of many other Power
Yeah.
Rangers.
I would say that Johnny and Bosch, as he went on,
Yes.
became to be as good an actor
Yes.
as she is. But like when they were contemporaries,
Yes,
she certainly had
definitely. And I mean, look, there's actors even in later seasons
Yeah.
who I would say are like, there's a couple of Power Rangers who are now like really good Australian actors.
Yeah.
But of this kind of early set, he's unquestionably the strongest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think I would put Amy Jo Johnson up against the guy who's in Jessica Jones because he killed that.
He did kill that, but like, I don't know that she couldn't have killed it necessarily. Like, not that hard, but
Yeah, I don't think she's quite that good. to be
she's
honest.
done like series leads.
Yeah, but that was the intensive role, like
Sure.
the breadth of that.
Sure, but like, okay, maybe not that part, but like, I think she is a good actress.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think on this show, which normally hires good martial artists,
Yes.
that's like,
kind of rare.
Yeah.
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 So that's the end of the episode.
That's it.
Then there's a Bulk and Skull tag. It's clearly just a scene cut from the episode.
They do not know what they're doing with those tags.
No, those tags were an outtake once.
Yep.
They were...
That was what I was expecting when it came up because I was like, are they going to stuff up their lines? What's that? And then it was just like a scene. And I was like, oh.
Sometimes they're outtakes. Sometimes they're just extended
versions of scenes we've already
versions
seen.
of scenes. This is just like the setup for their plot that
Yeah.
the episode doesn't even bother with.
And sometimes it's just like a scene you saw again. Like
Yeah.
it's just a scene from an earlier episode.
It's
Bizarre.
it's really, if they're going to be outtakes,
I mean, personally, I'd be a big fan if they just had the bloopers at the end of like things where they stuff up.
They might not have enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe there's not a funny outtake from this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
Should we put it on our ranking of... Well, I guess we don't put it on it, but we decide an episode based on its quality using our patented Rocky, Aisha, Adam system.
Yep, the 3-point scale I've tricked Mac into using.
Yep. So obviously Adam is the best.
Yep.
Aisha is completely middle of the road.
Yep.
And Rocky
See,
is
I like
the
her
absolute
so
best.
much better.
Matt loves Adam.
Get out of my house.
Like Matt would have babies with Adam if that was possible.
See, me growing up, my favourite, always Red Ranger.
Yep.
But I understand why people don't like Rocky. But
Because he's the worst, is that why?
no. But I think Adam would have been like when I was watching it, I couldn't care less about Adam when I was watching it growing up.
Couldn't care less about you.
Well, that's fair
I mean,
enough.
I will say a lot of my love for Adam
Yep.
is my love for Johnny and Bosch,
Yeah.
right?
But then again, like, you didn't watch Zero.
No.
So, anyway, that's the system that we've established.
Yes.
Where are we going to put this
This is
episode?
an Adam, unquestionably
Yeah.
for me.
Despite racism, it pulled through to an Adam.
Because racism. No, it's
He's
just
really doubling down on this.
the monster is...
If he gets murdered, like it's his own fault, really.
The monster is like stereotypical,
Yep.
but has a cool power and is interesting to look at and like does interesting things.
Yeah,
He's a
unfortunately,
good
the
monster.
Megazord fight really lets him down.
He's obviously tied to the B plot
Yes.
in a way where he's not just a physical object from the B plot turned into a monster.
Yep.
The B plot is good and well thought out and not full of holes.
Yep.
It's just a good episode of Power Rangers.
It was surprisingly emotional. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting it to sort of go in those directions. I was like it was funny. There were bits that were funny.
Yeah.
But like it was a well done.
And I think when you put those plots on Amy Jo Johnson's shoulders, she
Yes,
carries it in
definitely.
a way that it would have just
Imagine if
crushed.
this episode was about Rocky.
Oh God!
Go
God.
to Moon of Friends. Yeah, move with them.
Ugh. I might hate Friends as much as you did if Rocky was there. It's not true. I would never hate Friends as much as Michael does, even if Rocky was there.
I don't hate France. I would like, before we end the episode, to clarify my position. I do not hate France or the French.
It's not super supported by opposition.
I just don't think that they are unmake fun ofable.
I think it's not it's more that you enjoy making fun of them so much. This is what I'm saying.
Would you like
know?
a baguette?
It shows a pretty strong.
It's got some
presence on your
cheese
part.
on there.
Though
We
to
told
be-
the
to be
English
fair,
our word for perfume was toilet water.
He also makes fun of Australians for these similar sort of things, like
Not
with like
really.
stereotypes.
G'day, mate. Chuck another shrimp on the barbie.
I feel that's more just like him.
That's not a
having
knife.
A thin defense for his racism now.
That's a knife.
like this is his version of like, but I have so many.
But
black
I don't.
friends.
I don't have like a black person racism or like a. I don't even. I can't.
No,
think of-
some people are just racist towards specific races of people. It's almost like they're discriminating when it comes to race.
It's like
Like racism.
I just like I wouldn't make fun of a French person to their face.
Oh, great. Yeah, so it's like racism.
So
that you're
so you'll
ashamed
put it
of.
on the internet where anyone can hear it.
Oh look, the things that we've said on this podcast. Actually, I think we've been pretty good on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until now.
Yeah, until this episode. It is-
Anyway, let's put Artist Mole
Yep.
onto the creature feature.
Yep.
Cool ability,
Yep.
distinctive voice,
Yep.
tied into the episode.
Yep.
Dull Megazord fight. Not even dull, but nothing Megazord fight.
They just needed to get the Megazords in there.
And doesn't speak in rhyme.
Yes. And racial stereotype.
Yeah, sure. But I don't... Did we hold that against the one with the Goonie Bird eggs?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's fair.
We really did.
That's fair.
That like, and he's come up again when we've been ranking other monsters, and we've reminded ourselves of that and put him further down.
Okay, so top, middle, bottom.
Look, I still do think not too far from the top.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so look here around kind of number 20.
Yep.
We've got the Peckster. Do you remember
Yep.
the Peckster?
I do, yeah.
Is he better than the Peckster?
I just think the theory of like how he's made makes him such a good monster because it's so different to how they make all the other ones. They're like, we're going to create a monster, where they've been like, this is what Kimberly's scared of.
Yep. I'd agree with
That's-
that, yeah. What else is above?
Okay, above Peckster is Trumpet Top,
Yep.
Chunky Chicken.
Don't think he's better than Chunky Chicken. What do you think? That's where I'm starting to be like, oh.
I mean, I like him,
Yeah.
but I understand that Chunky Chicken did have giant scissors.
But they cut through reality.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to top.
That is hard.
Alright, why don't we put him between Chunky Chicken and Trumpet Top at number 19?
This is our lives.
Yeah, this is our lives. This is a great life. Okay,
Do you
anything
think
else?
Artist Mole is like a very bad pun on artisanal?
I don't think so.
Just because when I saw you write it there, you wrote it without a space in the name.
Yeah,
And when I look at it, I'm like, oh, I can kind of see that now.
I mean, that's a very loose...
It's a stretch, definitely.
I feel like there's got to have been a better name for him.
Ask Tim.
As Tim and Jeremy.
I think they were too busy writing the actual emotional storyline part of it that they couldn't focus
Oh,
on
look,
coming up with like.
if what
funny-
happens is we lose names like Babe Ruthless and Invincible Flytrap, and instead we get good episodes of the show, that's a trade-off that I am more than happy to.
But then
Very ruthless, though.
I know.
But then you'd have to like only have episodes focusing on Kimberly because the rest of them can't do anything.
Kimberly, the occasional Adam episode,
Yeah.
that would not be a terrible show.
That's
No.
true. That's true.
All right, that was A Brush with Destiny.
Yeah.
All right, next week, Passing the Lantern.
Okay. That's interesting.
All right, I guess we'll talk about that more next
I
week.
wonder who eats a lantern.
All right, let's end that there. We'll see you guys next week.